Welcome back to the Ripley Branch line once more, where we will be picking up at Coxbench this time. And I honestly couldn't have picked a better spot to resume this journey, because right over here on my left is the only still completely intact station on the entire line. Coxbench retains its platform, its building and its ballast, and also that little wooden walkway with the steps in the distance was there from the railway era too. What a scoop. Bang across the road behind me, we've got yet another form of level crossing to analyse. I think I might have actually blundered yet again. If you recall my having to detour at the end of part 2, you probably catch my drift. As is obligatory, we obviously have to see it from the street side as well. Yes, that includes the chimney. And here's a look from the other pavement. Delicious period railway brickwork there. Not sure how much of that brickwork is period. Seeing how the railway track bed's entered another private stretch, we're having to plod along the road for a little bit now. Not for too long, however, I can promise you that. Savour the winter sunlight beaming down on this farm field alongside the road here for a minute. Heading back onto the track bed now at last. One last look behind us. And it's ballast from here on in. Coming up on another spot that's a personal favourite for me. It's on this lovely little low embankment amidst these tall trees here. Whether in winter or summer, it's attractive in its own way. It's like going right through the realm into some otherworldly place, I think. Whoa, we have a little bit of a chicane in front of us now. Face the front in time again to see another bridge. Look back at this fine specimen. Concrete parapets here as well. Don't know if this one was originally built as a single track at this point, but that bridge certainly looked narrow. At least enough not to get two full gauge tracks across comfortably without catching the parapet. Then again, it wouldn't have mattered as there's only a little stream underneath it. Oddly enough, that little stream is not quite as little here right now as it comes up alongside me again. It was just a trickle back underneath that bridge. Straight on again we head. Just a quick heads up, you may notice that my recent videos have been suffering a horrendous amount of pixelation in parts. Sorry if any of you have been driven off watching my stuff. I am trying to work hard to sort out the problem. Several of the methods I looked up aren't quite fathomable, or workable rather. But hopefully 2 or 3 weeks and everything should be sorted again. It may require me having to switch my video editing app yet again, but I'd rather that than look like an incompetent clut. While chatting, I walk right across another of these little farm crossings. Oh, I seem to have some people catching up with me as well, so I might want to walk a bit faster. Nice to see the sun's finally made an effort of sorts today. As we finally head into this long, slow right-hand corner towards Little Eaton. Meanwhile, I think another route branches off left. That's a consequence of having a railway and the main Derby road right next to each other. I really feel sorry for the people who use this path when it gets resurfaced. Out for a peaceful summer's bike ride, and every few seconds someone with another engine or a hooter comes past. We meanwhile come slowly out of the curve, and in front it looks like it's curving left already. Single track lines often get away with these S-bends more easily, I think. The remains of another long gone level crossing. Stop, look and listen, and beware of loads of cars passing about 10 metres away. Nearing the end of the line, and a nice pair of bridges to round off. One over and then one under. We'll have to go right over the middle of this one, keeping true to the train direction. Let's have one nice look from behind. Back towards Ripley or Coxbench, which is closer. And keeping on to the second of the set, which I believe goes underneath Alfreton Road. Whatever is up there, same old wonderful stonework is still intact, both outside and on the inside. And as always a custom, especially as it's the last bridge of the day, or sort of the last bridge of the day, we have to look from the other way. Twin holes for the brook as well. Turn back, see the bricks. And turn around and onward again. Just to translate what I said then, yes, there is actually one more bridge to go in a little while, and we save the best to last, or rather the Ripley Branch does. Credit where it's due, Dave. and who it's due to as well. A further chicane ahead. I don't think the locals will really want to hear me put on my Murray Walker voice right at the bottom of their back garden. Then if you're down with me here, the ballast might do a job of drowning me out. Emerging into terra firma again, and maybe some terraces. Well, probably just flats actually. I just enjoyed saying that. And heading almost into the sun as well. And shortly ahead, after a small break, we now return to the ballast. Decent view of all the cottages through there as we enter the northern outskirts of Little Eaton. Might actually serve as an excuse to keep looking away from the path here, as the sun's rays are causing quite an intrusive glare. Well, if you can see it below the sun, we seem to have bought ourselves another cutting. I could be bending the truth. This is only a banking on the right hand side. On the left, it's actually the back of some sort of shed. And just a load of trees and seemingly impenetrable bushes. Still a crossing left to go. We do another look back again before we head back deep into the trees for one brief bit. And to say brief, I think even that's being generous. Because just in front is our second to last level crossing for today. Do apologise for the slight tilt of the camera just then. Got distracted. Our final gate for the afternoon sits up where the track crossed over a rather unusually named street. In case you ask, it's called the Town. To reach our last pièce de résistance of the day, we have to return to the road again, because on top of being private property, there's a serious spate of fallen trees about 120 metres in front. So I think a little trip through the village will be in order. Nice to see that Little Eaton at least packs all the essentials. A chemist and a doctor's. As the name of the road indicates, we are just approaching around a corner upon the last remaining attraction. And as it's the end of the day, I feel this one has to be done by the book. Get ready. Choo choo. This beautiful single track span in front of me sits between Duffield Road and the site of Little Eaton Station. which is deeper amongst those trees there, and the bit that I've had to divert round. That's the bit that I've just had to divert round due to some unceremoniously placed fallen trees. Of course, let's not leave out the station house. Somehow I get the impression it wasn't pink back in the railway days. Somehow I also think we won't be going any further today, because that fence straddles the last quarter of a mile of the route up to the junction with Midland Main Line into Derby, and it's just home to an industrial park these days. So to end, we'll have one last glance at this lovable set of relics. And as the sun slowly begins to set on this lost railway trip for the depths of Derbyshire. Don't get lost in the depths yourself. Subscribe. Hopefully that should point you towards the next one. See ya.